Hello, welcome to the SHUMPCAST. I'm Tony Shump, Ralph Nardella.
And I'm Dominic Antonio Santana.
And how are we going there today, Dom?
Mate, very good, very good. We've got a couple of netballers coming on today.
Yes.
Chris and Jess from the Strathmore Netball Club.
Well, does people still play netball?
Well, yes. We're going to start, mate. We're going to talk about it because they need sponsors in that. We've got to get them some sponsors. Anyway, what do you got?
Anyway, we've got an email here from Joe Esposito.
Yes, what is it?
He's a bit concerned. He's a big follower of the SHUMPCAST.
Yeah.
Listens to every episode. He just hope it doesn't
get to the
fade
point.
away. You know, he's a bit worried about comedy duos, splitting up.
Yeah.
You know, like the famous Tony Martin, Mick Malloy. They were very popular and they split up there. They don't talk anymore. American Rosso, you got that Todd Russell and Brant Webb, I think it is.
Yeah.
You know, from the Mine Shaft.
What are you trying to say?
Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, they had a big blue and didn't split up. So let's just hope for his sake that we don't split up, you know. And
we're not a comedy duo. Don't try and put us into their bracket.
Well,
Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. Are you fair to come on?
Well, I'm the comedy guy.
Anyway,
I'm the funny guy.
Chris and Jess are trying to get on the thing. We've got them on the phone.
And they're waiting, are they?
Yeah, they're waiting.
Okay.
So, without further ado, Chris.
How are you?
How are you?
Good. How you going, guys?
Very good. We wanted to get some netballers on the show because it was so male dominated that all the women in the audience said, "Oh, why don't you get a couple of netballers on?" So anyway,
Chris, about time.
Tell us about your netball club and what you and Jess do.
Sure thing. So I've got Jess here with me.
Hello. Hi, Jess.
So basically, Jess and I we've played netball all our lives. I'm a bit of an old bag. I'm 52. Jess is about 108. Been playing netball since we were very young. And then, body's broken out this age, so opted to start coaching. Been coaching netball at a pretty high level for about 12 years now. And decided to start our own netball club, Jess and myself. And it started with about 5 teams.
Yeah.
And we've now got over 30 teams at the club. So it's over 300 girls that are now playing at the club.
Wow.
And loving their netball. So the main area that we play is Parkville Netball is where we basically play our game.
Yeah.
And we have kids at our club ranging from...
Let that go.
Yep, so 5 years old.
5 years old?
5 years old, right up to open. So right up to, we've got girls playing who are about, 40.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 40. Wow.
So what about the mixed netball stuff? Like, I was telling Ralph that I played a game with you and Jess in the mixed netball.
I never knew males.
Yeah, he reckons that males don't play. Can you just tell him that we did?
No, they do, because my husband, Spiros, keeps reminding me that he got BOG that game.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty good looking. He's pretty good looking. So the rest.
Well, maybe that was why.
Yeah.
Look, mixed netball is we don't have any males at our club, not for any reason.
Yeah. They can't play. They can't play.
Look, we are also our netball club is affiliated with the Strathmore Football Club.
Okay.
So, obviously the boys will be playing the footy and cricket as well.
Yeah.
So we're all affiliated under the one umbrella.
Yeah.
And, the boys don't, for some reason over this side of town, boys don't seem to want to pick up the sport.
Yeah.
I think they prefer to play it as a male-only sport.
Oh,
a lot more males are playing in male-only competitions. So there's a couple of competitions that are just male-orientated.
What, netball?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like mixed netball. I didn't know the blokes. Because, we want to get netball in the Olympics, don't we?
It's never been in the Olympics because only the Commonwealth countries play the sport.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't have as many males playing.
Yeah.
And so if they want to get it into the Olympics, one of the issues that they have is the fact that it's mainly dominated by females. And so you wouldn't have as many males being able to compete, which means that it'd be cut off to male competitors, which has been the reason in the past that it hasn't been included.
So who do you have to lobby?
But they're now campaigning for it.
So who are you guys lobbying? Like, how do you get it in the Olympics? Like, who do you talk to?
Well, I suppose you do the IOC, but I mean, it's obviously in the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth Games because it's dominated in Commonwealth countries. But I suppose you'd lobby the IOC. I know that Brisbane's just got 2032, I think, Olympics.
Yeah.
And they're definitely campaigning for it. So I suppose they'll start with the IOC and get petitions and that sort of thing from people around Australia, I suppose, to start with. They do it at national level and then see what they can do in terms of getting support or gaining support at international level. But, yeah, I'm not entirely sure of the actual process.
Well, or maybe, Chris, a bag of cash maybe could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
A baby,
Just gotta find
bag
that.
of
I
cash.
know, so it's not coming from me.
Yeah.
So what do you guys actually do? What's your job, Chris, and what's your job, Jess?
Sure. So we're both head coaches of the club. So basically our job is we grade, so we hold a grading twice a year. And, obviously during these times it's a bit different with COVID, but as per normal, we'll talk about normal times.
Yeah.
We would grade and we place all the players in the team of like abilities. We have to also look for coaches, so we get coaches for each of the teams. So Jess and I coach a bit. We coach at the top level, but we also need to ensure that we have coaches coaching all of our juniors that are good enough for where we want our club to be.
Yeah.
So our juniors need to spend time under us, being mentored under us as junior coaches, and then once we think they're suited, they'll get their own teams that they can coach, and they need to coach at a similar level of what we expect. And so we ensure we coach, basically training is between all age groups.
Yeah.
We have Mondays, with netball, it's basically Mondays as training and Wednesdays as training.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are game night.
Yeah.
And Saturday mornings is game day as well, all day.
Okay.
So basically it's 5 days a week, really. It's pretty full on. Yeah, so we go around to all of the games that we don't coach to ensure that the coaches are doing the right thing, and to make sure that the girls are developing the way they're supposed to be.
And just like the footy, like do you have a way that they can go and play for like the Swifts, or like if they're too good for you guys, how do they move on? Like, do you recommend them or?
So you're talking about the pathways to play at the highest possible level.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is that from a domestic level, which we're at, we have, so Parkville, which is the main association that we play at, they will have trials to make their representative side. Yeah. Okay? So both Jess and I coached for Parkville this season as well. So we move away from, we still coach at Strathmore, but we're also coaching at a representative level. Yeah. So they move to Parkville. Then what happens is that once you've made that Parkville representative team, you then move to, you go to what's called Association Champs, where they hold an all-day event. And you basically get talent identified by people walk around for the day and talent identify the up-and-coming players.
Okay.
And that's basically how you get noticed. You have to make these representatives. I mean, it all starts at domestic level, and then you get, put forward by the coaches quite often. Yeah. We'll nominate who we think should be trialling for representative level, and then it's up to them to do the work as well. From that point forward.
And have you got any girls from your club that are earmarked for greatness, or?
Well, we'd like to think so. So, as an example, the under-11 Parkville representative side, which is the junior side, they had 12 players in that team, and 9 of them were from Strathmore Netball Club.
Ooh,
the under-15s, which is really where you want to be, because that's your talent identification year. Yeah. So your under-15s, that was really fantastic too. So they had 12 players in that team as well, and 8 of those were from Strathmore Netball Club. So we've certainly got a massive array of talent at the club, that's for sure. Yeah. And yes, I do believe that the girls can go, but the problem at the moment is nothing's happening because of COVID. Yeah. So it's really tough for these girls because under-15s is the year that you're trialling for all, whether it's at Victorian level, state level. So it's just unfortunate the way it's going at the moment. But, they're still hoping, actually the Netball Vic is still hoping that they'll get the championships run hopefully in November. to see whether these girls can get talent identified to go to the next level, which is called Zone Academy. So Zone Academy is the equivalent in football terms as, say, quarter cannons.
Okay. I knew you were going to say quarter cannons because Michael's in the quarter cannons,
Quarter cannons, oh, yeah.
He is, he is. So that would be the equivalent.
Okay.
And then for Vanessa, it's the same. We have netball has the same sort of pathways as what football does. It's just unfortunate that, from a female's point of view, when it's just a female-only sport, it doesn't seem to be given as much traction. There you go, traction.
Oh, well done, Jess. Well done, Jess. Traction. Yes. She snuck in the word.
Hey, Chris, what about the Suncorp Super Netball competition? Is that equivalent to the A League or something, or how does that?
The Suncorp Super Netball, SSN would be, that's where you want to be. That's top of the range.
Top of the range.
AFL level.
That's professional stuff.
Talk about the SSN.
Yeah, it's the top level in this country, so you want to go through the state pathways and then play, the VNL with the view to play the Victorian Netball League and then the Australian Netball League, they sort of filter out the players through that, because the Suncorp Super Netball used to be the ANZ Championship, so you had to kind of battle for spots from your Australian counterparts as well as New Zealand, whereas they've separated the two out now, so there's a little bit more opportunity for athletes to just play at Suncorp Super Netball. And then obviously there are opportunities, like we've just had some players leave from Suncorp to go over to New Zealand because they're not getting as much opportunity here. But because they've separated out the two competitions, there's a few more, teams and a few more spots available. So it's obviously the equivalent of AFL, just obviously there's only 8 teams.
That's the highest level, yeah. And that's a national competition, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's teams in every.
So it used to be Australia and New Zealand. We used to have the one competition. We used to play together.
Yeah.
But they separated them.
Is there much money and stuff in it? Like, what entices the girls?
Actually, the love, and that's the other issue. It's tough. I was only reading about it today. There was an article actually on Facebook today where they're now going to be paid the most highly paid female sport. Yeah. But let me tell you,
it'll be a fraction of what the blokes get.
I'll tell you now, it'll be, they did put the sums up there. It would be, so say the very best netballer in Australia playing at the highest level, they would earn about 50,000 a year.
Wow. What?
50,000?
That's not even base rate. That's not even base rate.
Exactly.
I'm going to bring the Melbourne Vixens there. Give them a call.
It's an absolute joke.
And some of them, like first-year players, I mean, they've actually just negotiated a new pay deal. They haven't put out all the information as yet. It's just come out in the last 24 hours that they've negotiated a big new pay deal. But that'll be next to nothing compared to what their male counterparts
So instead of 50, you'll get 55.
Some girls are playing for 10,000 a year, so they've all got second jobs.
Well, that's no good, is it? So what do you do? Like, do you have to run around? Do you have to run around and get the sponsors, or is that organised by somebody else?
Sponsorship, absolutely. But again, in netball, to get a sponsorship deal, for some reason, so basically netball is the most played sport in Australia, Yet it's got the littlest amount of advertising and sponsorship. It's an absolute joke.
Why is that? Why is that?
It's beyond me. Like, even the girls, there would only be literally a handful, maybe 5 at the most, and I can't even think of all 5 that would have great sponsorship deals like with Nike. I don't even think Nike would even give them. It's like ASICS, because ASICS is the only runner that has specific netball runners. So ASICS is a major sponsor of netball. Yeah. But they would probably only have maybe 1 or 2 of the very best players that they would sponsor. Like, you don't see it much.
And not just their Suncorp team. So these are even people that represent Australia, have played at Commonwealth Games level, have played, all the different competitions that they can. So they've played at every level that they can possibly play at without investing more. And they're still only getting... And when we say sponsorship, like by ASIC, this isn't even something that's been happening for, let's say, 10 years. This would all be probably 2-3 years where it's really taken off, and it's not even for everyone.
But it also wouldn't be at the same monetary level than what AFL footballers would be getting sponsorship.
What they get in their salary would be a fraction of what their male counterparts get, and then what they get in sponsorship is next to nothing. So most of the girls that play at the top level, even if they're playing for Australia, you know, and at Commonwealth Games level and all of that, would still be working almost a full-time second job as well as doing their training and their games for Suncorp.
Is that why you're losing a lot of the netball girls to the AFL girls teams?
I'll tell you why.
A lot of
opportunity, Dom. Opportunity for AFLW now, and that's where we are losing players.
Yeah.
At our club, we've got a lot of players that play football as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I totally understand why they do it. There's so many more opportunities to make playing AFLW than there is to make a netball side. So, you know, you're looking at how many sides of AFLW are there in Melbourne. What is it, 10 on them? However many it is.
Probably 8 to 10.
You know, look at the opportunity and how many. I mean, the netball team has 7 in it, and they normally pick 12, just 12 for each club.
Yeah.
So compare that to picking, you know, 25 or 30 for an AFLW club and having an extra 10 sides there. There's only 2 Melbourne sides in the netball, in the SSM competition. So trying to break into that is a nightmare.
So that's Melbourne Vixens, and which other team?
And the Collingwood Magpies.
Oh, wow.
Go Pies. Go Pies.
Sorry, we're going to have to delete that bit about the Go Pies.
Delete that out.
We'll delete that out. Anyway, hey, so that means, like, netball being the most played sport in Australia is losing their best players to, like, AFL and all the other stuff. Is that right?
Yep.
So how do you retain them? How do you retain all this?
Well, the thing is, it's one of those situations that we continue to keep these players because they come through as young players with us.
Yeah.
The problem age becomes around about 14.
Yeah.
Where they really start liking the footy. And the thing is, when they start not making rep sides, they get disappointed. And I think it is a bit easier because there aren't as many girls, I guess, that vying for a place in rep teams at AFL level yet.
Yeah.
They're making the opportunities they're getting there are more than they are with netball. We do manage. Like, we haven't lost. When I say we've got players at the club, we've got players at the club that are playing AFL as well, but they're doing both. So they're playing. We haven't had girls leave us, but we give them the opportunity of. So we allow them if they say, "Look, can I just train every second week because I've got footy training as well?"
Yeah.
We're also open to that as well.
Yeah.
So it's good for us. Well, footy players, let me tell you. Footy and basketball players, they take to the netball court and they're stronger, they've got their elevation is great, they're agile, you know, they're great. It really helps. So netball helps them in footy and basketball, and basketball and footy helps when they're playing netball. So we haven't particularly lost net. What it is that we're not gaining a lot of new players. And every club's the same, not just ours.
Yeah.
So we are friends with quite a few of the clubs that play at Parkville, and they're having the same issue. So basically, it's not so much as you're losing your current players, we're just not getting a lot of great new talent around because people are choosing to take up football.
So lucky for you guys that the AFL and the netball doesn't fall on the same day when they have to play,
Yeah, well, that's true because we would suffer greatly, definitely.
Well, is there something you want to say to all our viewers about the netball? How we're going to entice them and get them down there, or sponsorship deals? I
don't know. I mean, I suppose for me, it's just conversations like this that are going to be beneficial so that people understand, you know, where we sit, you know, on the rung of the ladder, I suppose. We're not up there with, you know, AFL and cricket and all of those sorts of things. So for me, even conversations like this are pretty important just to get the word out that there are so many girls out there that want to play netball, but they're losing opportunities because it's not given, and so they're having to go elsewhere for their sporting opportunities. So I suppose retaining them is one issue, but giving them opportunities and trying to expand on competitions and get sponsorship deals and get better pay for them, you know, is a good starting point. But, you know, if you think about it, we're in 2021 and we're still having these discussions. Yeah. So I don't expect it to be a quick process, but I think it's one of those situations, Dom, where, I mean, before you played, a lot of people just think netball's boring, right? So
until you actually play, get on the court and understand the rules.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, oh, shit, there is a bit more to this game than actually meets the eye, you know. And most people do think that, like netball. Like, I mean, how many blokes...
It's a non-contact sport.
Yeah, hello.
The last netball game I watched that was non-contact, I can't actually remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when blokes play, there's a bit of contact and
Well, I was
stuff.
going to say, it's very hard to get the ball in, but there's no board, there's no backboard, when you put the ball into the thing.
Yeah, because it's a skill. It's a skill.
Well, yeah.
Wait, just quickly.
It's not just that. There's so many tricks of the trade. So Jess and I, we continue with our coaching ability. We watch a lot of top level netball. So we continue to want to bring the innovative stuff through our club.
Yeah.
Because, you know, netball is a freaking old dinosaur sport, and there are old dinosaurs who still run some of the competitions.
Yeah.
But, you know, we try and be innovative as a club.
Yeah.
We like the girls to try different things. We're always open to trying different things. Netball's a brilliant sport, and, you know, really, to be perfectly honest, like coaching it, that's the other problem with netball.
Yeah.
There's not enough good coaches around,
So
and that's where clubs fall down. So there's not a lot of strong clubs around because there's not enough good coaches around who are willing to put in the time and effort either. Because again, you know, a lot of clubs, it's all voluntary work. It's all voluntary. It's a lot of time. We put in a lot of our days and our admin. We've got a lot of good people that run our club. So we've obviously got the sort of on-court aspect, but it's as Chris said, it's 5 out of our 7 days. And don't get me wrong, I love it and I enjoy it. But, you know, we've also got a good team of people behind us. We've got, there's about 20 in the committee.
20-something in the committee that are sort of doing the admin side of it to get us out onto court. But it's hard to find good people to do these things, and it is all volunteers. So if you don't have those people, then your club will struggle. We're just very lucky that we've got excellent people.
Yeah.
So guys, if you did get a sponsor, like, would you be able to put their name on your either your skirts or your tops or stuff like that?
So I'll explain to you just a bit of we actually have our committee. The only way that clubs can run, the only way that good clubs can run is to be able to pay your coaches. So we pay all of our coaches, so all of our coaches get paid.
Yeah. Wow.
To be able to do that,
how do I sign up?
We don't want to have, sorry?
How do I sign up to be a coach?
Yeah, I know, I'll tell you,
I'll just get on YouTube.
There's a very, 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 very difficult interview process. Thanks. So basically, we have a sponsorship person. So one of the people on our committee is in charge of sponsorship.
Yeah.
So they go around and they get sponsorship for the club, and with all the sponsorship deals that we make, they all go towards different things. Like Jess and I get paid, so obviously that's going to be sponsorship.
Yeah.
But also so we have what we try to bring to our club is kind of like a footy field, where our top team, so our open Div 1 team, which my daughter Em's in, Don, you know very well. That is sponsored, so they don't pay fees at all. And they are sponsored by one of our wonderful sponsors called Anova Electrical. So they sponsor that team, so they don't pay any fees at all. So what we try and do is get it to a point, what I would like to do is get it to a point where we can start bringing good players in and paying players to play.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to sponsorship. But
it's all levelled out as well. So there are different levels, like at a footy club, different levels of sponsorship. So, you know, not all businesses are in the position where they can provide, say, a gold standard, but they might want to come in at, say, the bronze level, or they might want to do, you know, a ball sponsorship, or we've got, sponsors on all our beers or drink bottles. So we level it out so that if it's, you know, if you're a smaller business and you can't come in at that top tier, that you could still get your name out there by doing, you know, a bronze level or something little. So that's also a good way to do it, because not everyone can do the big sponsorship, but people still want to get their name out there and also support the girls as well.
What can you offer all these, because we've got a few listeners here, so what can we offer all these new prospective sponsors that want to sponsor the Strathmore Netball Club?
Yep. What we can offer them, depending on and of course you need to go to the Facebook page. We have stuff on there. It's Strathmore Netball Club. .com.au, our website as well. So basically we have different tiers. So, I mean, I don't do the sponsorship level. So the tiers are different, but there are tiers where For example, I just said to you the sponsorship who sponsors the Div 1 team.
Yeah.
So they also get a drink bottle from them. Anova also want to be able to provide them now with their own Strathmore Netball Club hoodie with Anova on the back of their hoodie. So it's advertising.
Yeah, beautiful.
What we also do, we get you our singlets. So if you sponsor us, we put all of our sponsors on the back of our singlet.
Yeah.
And
they're worn at every training.
Every training session, yep. But also, you get advertised, you get a plaque put up or a little billboard put up at the Strathmore Football Club on the wall.
Ooh.
But also, we get you, depending what level, you can also get your sponsorship across the scoreboard at the Strathmore Footy Club as well.
All right.
So, they had, when you're at the footy and they've got the scoreboard going. So say, for example, Spiros' Atlas Excavation.
Yeah.
So when the score goes up, they might flash on Atlas Excavations or flash up on the screen.
Oh, I like that.
So,
you got your husband's stuff into that.
Yeah,
so
he's sponsoring too. He's sponsoring too. Oh, yeah, he does.
Good girl. That's what I
Chris,
like.
I'm just going to go find an ATM machine and I'll hand over some cash to you and get my name up there on the SHUMPCAST.
We'll put it in a brown paper bag and we'll leave it somewhere for you. Anyway, we've got to wind it up. Do you want to give the viewers any more information about the Strathmore Netball Club?
Absolutely. Jump on the Facebook page. Jump on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
If you jump on the Instagram page, you'll also go to about a year ago. You'll see Jess and I during last year's lockdown doing some TikTok.
Oh.
Good fun, that's for sure.
All right. We really want to check out Chris and Jess on the Instagram page.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are sensational.
So that doesn't entice you, we're gone. And you can jump on our website. All the options are there. Any inquiries, you can just send it to registrations at Netball or head coach at Strathmore Netball.
Yeah.
I think our phone numbers are on the website somewhere. If anyone's got any questions, any queries, we are a professional netball club, and if you do bring your kids to our club, let me tell you, they will learn. Anyone you ask about the Strathmore Netball Club, they'll tell you the same thing. We've got a very good reputation.
Mate, well, you sound like you do.
Well,
and for any of you sponsors that want to throw in some money, mate, just do it because you'll get lots of gratification and you'll get lots of exposure, yeah? Chris and Jess?
Lots of exposure, yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is
Okay, well, can we give Chris and Jess a big hand for appearing on our show, ladies and gentlemen? That was Chris and Jess. Well, not much of Jess. I mean, poor Jess. She couldn't really talk with Chris going.
Yes.
Mate, she's good. I wonder how Spiros is at home. Spiros is her husband, great bloke. But Chris, I told you Chris is good, didn't I?
Oh, yes, very good, very good.
She knows her stuff. So any of you
like
sponsors
they said, people think that's a boring game, but I tell you what, I've never really watched a game in netball, but I'm going to
I wouldn't want to stuff.
I'm going to get on YouTube and watch a game, and see, how
get on and support them. Get on and support the Strathmore Netball
100%,
Club
100%.
And see if we can get some sponsors. Go out there, put your money where your mouth is.
Well, that's it. I'm going to go find an ATM machine right now after this podcast.
I'm going to hold you to that, so make sure you do.
Well, God.
Brown paper bag, I don't care how you do it, you got to go and give them some money, all right?
Well, that's all we have this time for SHUMPCAST. I'm Tony Shump, Ralph Nardella.
And I'm Domenico Antonio Sorbara.
And we'll see you next time on SHUMPCAST.